Okay, we're on chapter 12. Mostly just interview prep. Lulu is definitely a little bit heartbreaking because, I don't know, it just seems like Sweet Girl is going through it. Sounds like it's just been really, like, tortured. She's got something in her ear that's probably a listening device, and, it's starting to bleed, and I don't know, it's just, it's just sad. Like, you have a little kid that is going through something that grown adults would not know how to process. It's just sad. That's probably the most heartbreaking at this point in the book is Lulu's story arc. I thought it was interesting that Wyatt said basically he would bet on Haymitch. That's pretty high praise. I love Marilee's, like, her strategy of just trying to be memorable and kind of being a jerk and talking down about the Capitol. Like, how iconic. I love it. She reminds me of Joanna from the original 3. Just being mad at the world and not afraid to voice it because, if I'm going out, I might as well go out with a bang. So I really like her character a lot. The prep team, of course, they're super out of touch. I love how the Marcy, her name's gone again. I love how her and Drusilla are, like, they just hate each other, and it's pretty entertaining. And prep team. Oh, someone coming through the door. I am wondering if it's Tigress. I feel like that's a character that we haven't seen yet, so that's kind of how the chapter ends, is like someone coming through the door because the District 12 stylist is not doing so hot with his reptile thing. I don't know. He's into reptiles and has been licking reptiles and is not doing so great. I thought maybe he was poisoned by snow, but apparently it's a thing with the reptiles. But yeah, I'm wondering if the person coming in to kind of like help out and replace them is Tigress. Because, yeah, we've got to have an appearance by her at some point. But we'll see. I forgot with the previous chapter, the District 12 girl referencing Lenore Dove's fingernails, and like she knows her secret, and why are her nails orange before playing for the mayor. And dude, I'm racking my brain to figure out why. What is the significance of the orange? I don't know, and it's driving me nuts. We'll see. Oh, snap. I was wrong about Tigress. It was Effie. This is chapter 13. I love Effie. I really think... I don't really remember Effie from the original books, but I just remember Effie's character from the movie, and I know they definitely changed a lot. But, I think her actress just did a fantastic job. So Effie has this, like... She's endearing to me, even though she's clearly full Capitol. She has drank the Kool-Aid of the Capitol propaganda. But yeah, I just really, of the Capitol socialites, I love Effie. And like Hamish said, like she's actually, I guess, kind, as opposed to like Drusilla and their stylist, whatever his name is, just being like complete jerks to the tributes. Yeah, so that was a cool run in with Effie, and I guess this is how she gets her start in like working on the games, or working with District 12. I'm assuming it jumpstarts her career. Man, Lulu with the snake. It's always gotta be snakes with these books. I hate snakes. And so that's always tough for me. But yeah, I can only like picture this little girl who's not kind of in her, who's not herself, I think is the only way to put it. And just walking around with this giant snake that's like longer than she is. I think they said it was 6 foot tall. The jerked around gives me like literally the like heebie-jeebies thinking about it. But what a cool addition to her like character. And then also it feels like justice that Snow and his capital tortured this little girl that we don't even know her real name, and is like using her like this, jacked her mind all up. And at least there's some satisfaction in knowing that she really like called them out. I mean, kind of like unintentionally in the interviews. It was like, saying using the M word. I don't know if YouTube allows that, so we'll just say the M word. I think you all know what it is. But yeah, that, loved it. And it's like they can't even be mad. Like they messed with her mind. Oh man. Anyway, and I love the rascal angle for Haymitch. There's also like Wyatt. I feel like he's just kind of taking Lulu under his wing. I think he has a lot of compassion for her. He's always the one that they keep referencing, like, he went and got her off the stage when she passed out, or like he's the one that I think, I don't know, helped her get to bed the night before or something. I don't remember. There's been a couple of things where they mentioned that, or when they're at training and he's kind of like helping guide her away or whatever, or like helping take care of her. So that's really endearing to Wyatt. Yeah, I think it sounds like they District 12 killed in the interviews, which is cool. And then I mean, I knew that Plutarch was planning something. That's why they wanted the tributes to go back to their house. But pretty impressive that he was able to pull off a phone call with Lenore Dove. I'm really curious how that happened. And yeah, just interested. I hope they give more details, because I imagine there's not a lot of phones in District 12. So I don't know how they got Lenore Dove a phone. Yeah. And one last thing with I had a thought and it left me. Something with the interviews. I don't remember. Oh well. Anyway, that's general chapter 13. Okay, excuse the towel wrapped around my head. Working with what we can today. I feel like if I don't go ahead and record this, even though I have not done my hair after getting out of the shower, then I will forget. So here we are. Okay. Lenore Dove and Haymitch's phone call. Oh my goodness, like, can you just imagine the strings that Plutarch had to pull that off? I can't get over that. I keep forgetting to comment on this every time they say it, but the I love you like wildfire, that is so beautiful. Like, I don't know that I get it, but I love the way that it sounds. Not wildfire, all fire. I love you like all fire. And I don't know, it's like one of those really beautiful sayings that I feel like a bunch of people are gonna end up like getting tattooed all over their body. I mean, not one person getting it tattooed all over their body. I just mean like, that seems like a really popular tattoo, especially if they mention that in the movies, which I'm sure they will, because it's repeated so many times in the book. Yeah, I don't blame Haymitch for getting pissed that she's basically like trying to get herself the-ended. But feel like that would just be really hard to swallow. Like, but I love that he like took accountability for himself and was just like, you know, this isn't your fault. I made a choice. I could have just kept my head and this never would have happened, which is true. Like, sure, one of her actions kind of set off a chain of events, but that could be said for the guy that ran off. Like, we're all responsible for our own choices. Hamish could have made a different choice in that moment, and he would have ended up in the Hunger Games. So, love that he can recognize that and take accountability for his own actions, and also give her that, like, reassurance. What else? Their phone call. I love the tearing down the careers and like using like funny names, play on words with that. I just think it's clever. Not that I'm condoning people to like tear each other down like that, but I do think it was a clever move. I feel like something heartbreaking is coming with what's her name, Maisie, and her. I don't know. She seems really like betrayed by the fact that Hamish doesn't want to like ally with her. I feel like there's just more to that, so I'm curious to see where that goes. I have a feeling they're gonna reconnect in the arena at some point, but I don't know. There just seems like Suzanne Collins is spending a lot of time kind of reiterating that she's not pleased by that, and I'm really hoping that there's some like, I don't know, some like reconciliation with their like friendship. Yeah, I'd say that's the biggest things. I do realize that my earlier question about the song or poem that Lenore Dove is named after, it's definitely The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. That's pretty clear. My kid's calling. Gotta go. Okay, just finished chapter 15. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just describing kind of like the fear and unease as they're like getting ready for to go into the arena. I do think it's noteworthy of them in the hovercraft with District 11 and Lulu, like, I guess essentially like a memory being triggered by the District 11 girls' token, and her singing the little song. Again, it's just heartbreaking. Like, not only are you being sent for slaughter, you've also probably been tortured, and on top of that, like, stripped of your identity. Like, heartbreaking. But I love Hamish's line, something about there's no happy ending to Lulu's story. Like, it, and that's the best way to put it. Like, it's, her character is just completely tragic. Like, best case scenario, she survives and what is just thrust back into, you know, this essentially capital minefield of torture and disorientation and control. Clearly there's still pain going on by whatever they put in her ear. So it's just, I don't know. Lulu's it's just really sad. And again, like, Wyatt's the one that like grabbed her hand and tried to like calm her when she's trying to get out of her safety harness. And I love Wyatt and Lulu's relationship. And then when they're getting ready to go into each tribute's like changing room and then their little tube or whatever to shoot up into the arena, how they all hug, and oh, that just like touched me, because again, like, Hamish wasn't super crazy about them at the very least when they all got, you know, reaped. And it's like they've bonded, and I think there's like this camaraderie there. And then Lulu just like slides up, squeezes in the middle of their group hug, and I don't know. It's like, even though she's been stripped of her identity and probably a lot of memories, and she's endured so much, it's like she still is seeking some like community, some tenderness and care. She's a little kid. Like, just, man. Having a kid, I feel like that just, Lulu hits harder hits harder for me than it probably would have before having a young kid. Because I'm just looking at my kid and thinking about how, like kind of picturing her in that scenario, and it's just like, they're just so young, and they're children, and the Hunger Games is just so cruel. There's no other way to fry it. And then Effie, I love Effie coming in and like helping make sure Haymitch is all set, and her saying she'll do what she can to get Lenore Dove his token back, and that is, I don't know, it's like it seems like there's like some degree of respect from Effie of, just what they're going through. Again, I do think Effie's out of touch. I'm not saying she's not, but there's a sense of care, I think, there. And Effie. I think the Haymitch giving the little potato light stuff to Maisie, I think that's gonna come back. That's either gonna like save their lives in some way, or Haymitch is gonna really regret not having it. But that does feel significant, more than just like a kind gesture or like olive branch on Haymitch's part. And what else? Oh, the second that like they look out at the arena and he's talking about how it's so like bright and pristine and everything just looks like too beautiful, I was like, oh, everything's gonna be like toxic or poisonous. Like there's some hitch there. It's like too clean, too good. So as soon as even when he pulled out the like charcoal tablets, I was like, oh, that's because that neutralizes a lot of toxins and poisons. Like, aren't you, if you ingest like poison, you're supposed to like drink charcoal or something, and it either makes you vomit or it just neutralizes it. I don't remember. I know you're supposed to like take in charcoal if you get something toxic internally. So I'm like, that's why that's there. And then when the rabbit is like drinking from the stream and dies, I was like, oh, there it is. And he's talking about all of the like fruit and stuff in the trees that are just so easily like accessible, and his pack being a joke. I was like, oh, don't eat those. Like, those are gonna be poisonous too. Like, I feel like it can't just be the only thing that's safe is what's in like the packs or that's provided at the cornucopia. I feel like there's got to be more to it. Maybe it is just whatever's buried is safe. I'm not sure, but because they were talking about, you're probably gonna have to like dig for potatoes. I'm not 100% sure what will actually be safe, but I am pretty confident that the stuff that's wide open and looks too easy is definitely not gonna be safe to ingest. So we'll see. We're full on in the games now, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, just finished chapter 16. And yeah, we're starting out with Haymitch feeling the effects of the poisoned water. And he ends up using the charcoal. I talked about that in the last video, saw that one coming. And yeah, I felt Haymitch as soon as I that was my thought too when I saw Wyatt's name in this, or when he was talking about seeing Wyatt's name or picture. It was like it was probably defending Lulu. And then Lulu finds Haymitch. And I was a little disappointed though. I thought she was gonna say that that Wyatt was the one that told her to find Haymitch because he like trusted Haymitch to like try to look out for her and protect her. But it turns out it was the Capitol. So that's not great. But I mean, it lines up with what Snow kind of told him in the earlier chapter when he brought Lulu in, was, you know, you're supposed to like look after her and, you know, ship that whole narrative of looking out for each other in the arena. So not surprising. It was just, it's like, oh, I feel like it would have been better if Wyatt had, like, with his dying breath, was like, run, find Haymitch. But anyway, what else? And then, yeah, Lulu's death. That one, like I've said in previous videos, just tragic. Like, Haymitch called from the beginning, Lulu will not have a happy ending, and her story. And yeah, like, she was running into like a patch of like flowers that are meant for healing. So like, of course that would be like the game maker's twisted joke of use this plant for that's meant for healing and turn it into another form of poison. But yeah, something that she loved and probably reminded her of home, and frolicking through that just caused the end of her life. And then Haymitch essentially like mercy killing her. That just, again, so much of this is thinking also about what happens in the original 3 books and how Haymitch kind of ends up being the like tortured soul that he is. It's things like that where he came to really care for Lulu, and he was describing in that moment, it was like Llewellyn was laying in front of him, going through this fate, and, you know, then having to be the one to like end her life, even if it was a mercy. Like, I just can't imagine thinking about like my brother or someone that I'm incredibly close to, and feeling like I had to make that choice to like put them out of their misery, and like, how do you like live with yourself after that? So not a ton of revolutionary thoughts on this one. It's just tragic. Okay, I've made it through chapter 17. Yeah, I love that Haymitch felt so attached to Lulu and had that same sense of like rascaliness, as he put it, or like just the trying to stick it to the capital, not wanting them to like have her, like, you've done enough. So I love that he kind of took off with her. Honestly, I was pretty surprised at how mild the Mutt situation was. Like, I'm pretty surprised it's hard for me to believe that they wouldn't send something that could kill him. But maybe they were hoping it would like drive him nuts, because he, like, if he hadn't found a way to get rid of them using the fire bush thing, gas bush, whatever it was called, I guess they would have just kept stinging him. So I don't know. I guess maybe a bunch of little shocks, maybe that could have been deadly after a while. I don't know enough about electricity. I don't really want to know. It kind of freaks me out. But yeah, I was initially kind of surprised, but maybe that is better in their eyes, of like this torturous just suffering from the electric shocks. I don't know. Let me know if you have thoughts. And then I'm glad to see him reunite with Ampert. I was literally thinking something so similar when Haymitch said, like, I don't know why I keep finding myself with the little ones and I can't protect them. It's like it is like the young ones and the like vulnerable ones seem to just kind of like gravitate towards him. Maybe that says something about his personality. I don't know, that they feel safe and secure with him, but that has been the pattern. It's unfortunate to hear that Panache was the one that took out Wyatt, and that Maisley's MIA. I really do think she's gonna like kind of come back in with a bang, somehow using like the potato kit thing. I don't know. I just feel like there's more that hasn't been resolved with that. And I'm really curious where this is going. because I feel like there's no way they can actually pull off like their plan, because I feel like that would have just been bigger news and much more like seditious than it seemed like. I don't know. I'm curious what's gonna happen, but I can't imagine Snow letting Haymitch live for about 25 years if he did something like that. And yeah, it doesn't seem like there was big news about how like the arena was like bombed or something, or I don't know if I could say that word, how the arena was like attacked or sabotaged or whatever. So I don't know where this is going. And I pride myself in trying to figure out like hitches in books, or like trying to figure out how it's gonna end or what's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get to where we are at the beginning of the Hunger Games books. So we'll see. But I think they're doing a good job kind of playing off like why they've come together and why they're just like hanging out and taking their time. It's a pretty good chapter. Chapter 18. They pulled it off. They did it. I really thought there was like a twist coming where they were going to get close but not be able to do it. But they blew up the like water or whatever, and I guess flooded it, because you see it's like the arena looks like it's short-circuiting, but I guess they have backups, which I mean would make sense. That would be probably the smart thing to do, so you don't get made a fool of if you're the Capitol. Oh, but yes, they pulled it off, but man, that was Amber, heartbreaking, like one of the cruelest ways to go. Like as I was listening to it, I was like getting a little sick to my stomach. It's just like, that is diabolical. And again, him talking about like they're trained to his scent, his taste, like, because, you know, even with Haymitch attacking them, trying to get him off of him, they're still just like targeting Amber. And oh man, it's just crazy. Like, that is the true punishment for beating. Not even just having your son reaped and taken to the games, but also like the way that he was to die. Like, it would have been enough to just send him into the Hunger Games, to orchestrate his untimely end, to make sure he's not the winner of the Hunger Games. That would have been plenty punishment enough, but took it to a whole nother level. Absolutely terrible. Cannot fathom if that's your child. And then Haymitch, it's like he finally like snaps. He's like jumping around, singing, and I mean, same. Like, I'm right there with him. It's not a judgment on Haymitch, but like, you really think you've made an impact, and then everything comes back live for the arena, and it's like that devastation of like, oh, we did it. We did the impossible. We have made an actual impact. We made the Capitol look like fools for nothing. Like, it's for it to not to amount to anything. Devastating. Can't imagine. Suzanne Collins, this book has been so enjoyable. Like, one of my favorite listens / reads in a while. And then, and I knew when they had the big water tank, I was like, oh, they were like planning to like set something on fire. Maybe it was going to be this massive wildfire throughout, or like the little meadowlands. All of it was going to catch fire and be decimated, and they would use the giant water tank to put it out. Turns out, seems like a volcanic eruption. Lava is what it was likely intended for. Neutralizing that, and now they're not gonna have that. And I feel like that's kind of an FU to Haymitch of like, fine, you wanna mess around, like this screw around and find out. And then, and everybody was like camped out on the mountain. Also, why did everyone go to the mountain? That seems odd to me. I don't know why that would be like the place. It seems like there would, maybe there wouldn't be less places to hide. I guess maybe there's caves and stuff, but I don't know. That seemed like a weird choice to me. But that's probably how they're really gonna like weed down the number of tributes, and how Haymitch is one of the last remaining, because my guess is that volcanic eruption is gonna like take out most people who are like over by that mountain. And I feel like there's probably a shift happening where now it's like, okay, let's make sure Haymitch wins, or let's like be open to the idea of Haymitch winning. If I'm in this is what I'm imagining like Snow's plan is, because now the bigger impact would be for Haymitch to like basically realize that he's kind of helped cause this like gruesome end to pretty much everyone, and making him kind of live out the rest of his days drowning in the horrors of this arena, like seeing this like little boy that sounds like kind of reminds him of his brother essentially being picked clean by like squirrels. Like, can you imagine how that wouldn't haunt your dreams? And then of course there's still, I'm sure they're gonna do something to Haymitch's family and Lenore Dove and all of his loved ones, but I think there's probably a shift of like, okay, we don't have to target him. He can win. If he makes it, let him win. And like, we have so much more in store for him outside of the arena too. It's like literally making his life, for lack of a better words, like a living hell. So I don't know what's going on with this girl. Which again makes so much more sense for Haymitch's character in the Hunger Games. Like, yeah, I'd probably self-medicate too. Not saying that I'm condoning it, but I get it. Like, you have gone through way more at this point than any 16-year-old should ever have to. And there's only more to come. You know? It's truly tragic. Haymitch's character is tragic. And because it was all done at night, which I mean, I get that they needed to make their plan at night so that there would potentially be less capital resistance, because they have more of a like skeleton crew at night. But it's not even like, most viewers probably wouldn't have even seen even the like glitch in the system, you know, because they're all in bed too. So I don't know. Just all that for literally nothing. Just sucks. But hopefully Plutarch and BD and Haymitch, this is, you know, they've tried one thing, they realize it's not super effective, so then they have alternative plans that they get to carry out in the Hunger Games, I guess. Anyway, it's a tough book, man. It's enjoyable, but it's tough. Okay, chapter 19. I do have to go back. There was the chapter when Lenore Dove and Haymitch were talking on the phone, and I love that she used the analogy of like, she's a goose, she mates for life, and she loves geese. And also, do geese mate for life? I don't actually know, but I just thought that was a really sweet comparison that she made about herself. But I keep forgetting to mention it. Yeah, volcano, massive destruction. I really wish we knew how many cannon fires there were. I want to know how many people are left after the volcanic eruption. Yeah, and we see Sweet Haymitch. He is just going through the ringer. He is struggling to function. He is just in despair. Like, that's what it sounds like, what he's describing. But he rallies, and he's like, you know what? I know nothing about how to take out the generator, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. And, you know, mad respect for that. Like, he's still He's like, I gotta at least try. Like, what do I have to lose? I mean, there is a family and a girlfriend back home, but I think he's more thinking about, like, his own life. But, which I can respect. Like, might as well, again, try to go out with a bang, try to at least cause as much trouble as possible. And then he gets to, it sounds like it's basically like a labyrinth of holly, which is interesting. When he comes out, he's actually like having to take people's lives, which is, I don't know, I feel for him. You know, he said something about like, if I make it out of this without taking anyone's life, then that'll be a win in itself, and Hamish did not have that luck. And then someone comes up and gets panache, and it's gotta be Maisley. It's gotta be. I feel like she was pulling a fox face this whole time, where, like, just kind of like hiding and following and watching. She was just either clever enough or lucky enough to not eat some berries that were poisonous. Like fox face. But I have a feeling that's what she's been doing. She's either been following the career pack or she's been following Hamish. I have a feeling it's the career pack. She's been kind of like observing them. Gotta be her. But then I kind of have a feeling that it's just gonna be her and Hamish left, and they're gonna have to duke it out. And we know Hamish wins. And I feel like PETA said something when he was watching back the old games, that in Hamish's, he figured out like the boundary, the arena boundary, and like basically used that to sling an axe into somebody. I assumed that was gonna be panache. Maybe I'm misremembering all of that. I really thought that's what it was. I can't imagine him doing that to Maisley, and I really don't think there's anyone else left. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Okay, chapter 20. It was Maisley. Yes, I'm so glad we saw her again. Yeah, she's just awesome, like, and so smart. Like, this later in the chapter, but she devised her own poison for her blow dart by grinding up the poisonous blueberries. Like, what? I like Maisley. I know she can be a bit of a snot, but I'm a Maisley stan. And Hamish melted my heart when he basically asked her to be his sister. Like, precious. Which, again, is just so much more heartbreaking, too. It's like, that's how much you, like, connect with these people and you know that one or both of you's not gonna make it out. Like, that's rough. Tragic. Again, like, diabolical and tragic are the only ways that I know how to describe that situation. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Again, Maisley, I thought she was really clever, wanting to look for the career packs, like supplies and stuff. Super clever. And then in general, I feel like Hamish should have known there was like more to the hedge, and maybe he did, but it's kind of like, you gotta try, you gotta at least like make an attempt, even if it is like sabotaged, booby trapped. But yeah, we'll see what comes of the like exploding ladybugs. Okay, chapter 21 is done. They were really just recovering from the ladybug situation and encountered the intense porcupine. I will say that one felt a little on the nose. I don't really buy throwing it food would have gotten rid of it. I mean, these are literal mutations bred to terrorize and inflict intense pain, psychological and physical torture to the tributes. So I just don't really buy that one. But still good. Sad that District 11 is done. But you know, there's only gonna be one victor, so it's gotta happen at some point. And then yeah, Maisley and Hamish's budding friendship is really sweet. They really do feel like they just have this bond, through trauma bonded. But yeah, it's really precious, and I love that Maisel was the one to basically be like, we've got to be the worst victors in history. And it's interesting, like, because I mean, we don't know all that Haymitch does in his victor role. I'm wondering if they just kind of broke his spirit, but he doesn't just seem to willingly go about, the games and everything, go about his victor role. But I don't know, I'm curious to see how that pans out for him as a victor. And yeah, it's just heartbreaking the position they put the victors in. I really do feel like they just kind of crushed Haymitch's spirit, presumably with what happens to his loved ones back in District 12. And it definitely seems like he has the idea to go back after Ladybugs with Blowtorch. So we'll see how that goes.